Here's something that will annoy you. The people who actually have money don't manage it the way you think they do. While everyone else is chasing the next hot stock, the next crypto pump, the next can't-miss opportunity, the wealthy are doing something so simple it almost feels like cheating. Today I'm going to show you the system, not the fantasy, the reality, the 15-65-20 rule. It's not exciting, it's not going to get you a million likes on social media, but it works. And it works for everyone, whether you make $30,000 a year or $300,000 a year. The financial industry has a dirty secret. They need you to believe that managing money is complicated. If it's complicated, you need their help. If it's complicated, you'll pay their fees. If it's complicated, you'll keep buying their books, their courses, their newsletters, their exclusive memberships. But here's the truth. The fundamentals of building wealth haven't changed in decades, and they're simple enough that you could explain them to a teenager in 10 minutes. The wealthy understand something most people miss. It's not about how much you make. It's about what you do with what you have. You can earn $300,000 a year and be broke. You can earn $50,000 a year and build real wealth. The difference isn't your paycheck. It's your system. Most people treat their money like a river. It flows in, it flows out. They hope there's some left at the end of the month. There never is. The money comes in, and before they know it, it's gone. Rent here, food there, a subscription they forgot about, an impulse purchase, a night out. The wealthy treat their money like a dam. They direct it, they contain it, they decide where it goes. Every dollar has a job. Every dollar is assigned, nothing is left to chance. Today, we're building your dam. Let's get to work. Let's start with the first pile. 15% of every dollar you earn goes to your future self. Not to your landlord, not to the grocery store, not to Amazon, not to DoorDash, to your future self. The version of you who isn't working anymore. The version of you who wants to sleep in and travel and not worry about money. This money has two jobs. Its first job is to sit there and wait. Life loves surprises, not the good kind. The car breaks, the roof leaks, the medical bill arrives, the dog needs emergency surgery, your hours get cut at work. This pile is your shield against those surprises. Without this shield, every surprise is a crisis. You're not just dealing with the problem, you're figuring out how to pay for it. You're reaching for a credit card. You're taking on debt that follows you for months or years. The stress keeps you up at night. With this shield, the same surprise is just an inconvenience. Annoying, but not devastating. You pay, you move on, you don't panic. You sleep through the night. The second job of this pile is where the magic happens. This money doesn't just sit there. It works, it grows, it compounds. Let me show you why this matters more than you think. This is the part that most people never see because they never get far enough into the system. Person A saves $200 a month starting at 25. Person B saves $400 a month starting at 35. Same return, same retirement age. Who ends up with more? Person A, not because they saved more. Because they started earlier. Time is the only advantage you can't buy. You can earn more money, you can get a better return, you can get a promotion, you can start a side hustle. But you cannot go back in time and start earlier. This is why the first pile is so important. It's not about the dollars today. It's about the decades of growth those dollars will experience. The dollars you save at 25 have 4 decades to grow. The dollars you save at 35 have 3 decades. That 1 decade of difference is enormous. The wealthy understand this. They start early, not because they have more money, because they have more time. Now let's talk about the second pile. 65% of your income goes to actually living. Your rent or mortgage, your food, your transportation, your utilities, your insurance. The stuff that keeps you alive and functioning day to day. Here's where most people get into trouble. They don't have a cap. They spend what they want, save what's left. And what's left is usually nothing. The money flows out as fast as it flows in. The 65% cap forces a different question. Not, what do I want to spend? But how do I fit my life into this number? It changes the conversation from unlimited to constrained. And constraints, as frustrating as they can be, force creativity. This number will make you uncomfortable. Good. That's the point. Expenses are like gas. They expand to fill whatever container you give them. You get a raise, and suddenly you need a nicer apartment. You get a bonus, and suddenly your car feels old. You get a promotion, and suddenly your wardrobe doesn't feel good enough. Your income goes up, and somehow your stress about money stays the same. Nothing changed. You're just spending more. The 65% cap is your container. It keeps the gas from expanding forever. It forces you to make choices, conscious choices, intentional choices. If your rent is too high, you need a roommate or a cheaper neighborhood. If your car payment is too high, you need to downgrade. If your food spending is out of control, you need to cook more. If your subscription list is too long, you need to cancel the ones you don't use. These aren't punishments. These are trade-offs. Every dollar you save on rent is a dollar that can go to the first pile. Every dollar you save on a car payment is a dollar that can grow for decades. Every dollar you don't spend on takeout is a dollar that can become $5 in 10 years. The wealthy aren't wealthy because they live in mansions. They're wealthy because they didn't buy the mansion when they could have. They lived below their means while they were building. They deferred the big house, the fancy car, the luxury vacations until after the wealth was built, not before. Living below your means isn't deprivation, it's freedom. It's the freedom to not worry about the payment, the freedom to leave a job you hate, the freedom to say no to things that don't serve you, the freedom to say yes to things that do. Now let's talk about the third pile. 20% of your income goes to joy. This is the pile that most financial advice ignores or shames, and that's why most budgets fail. I word a wife. Here's the truth. If you try to save every dollar, you will break. You'll be miserable. You'll resent your budget. You'll feel like you're missing out on life. And eventually, you'll give up. You'll abandon the whole system and go back to spending randomly. The 20% pile is your escape valve. It's the money you spend on things that make you happy, no questions asked, no guilt, no shame. Yes, you can buy the coffee. Yes, you can go to dinner. Yes, you can take the trip. Yes, you can buy the concert tickets, within reason, within the 20%. This is the pile that makes the other piles possible. Because when you know you have money set aside for fun, you don't feel deprived. You don't feel like you're missing out. You feel in control. There's actual research on this. Studies show that people who give themselves permission to spend on pleasure are more likely to stick to their savings goals. Not less, more. It sounds backwards, but it's not. Deprivation leads to rebellion. Freedom leads to discipline. When you feel like you have choices, you make better choices. This 20% is not an invitation to be irresponsible. It's a recognition that you're a human being, not a spreadsheet. You like things. You enjoy experiences. You want to treat yourself sometimes. That's not a flaw. That's being alive. The wealthy don't deprive themselves. They allocate. They decide how much they're going to spend on fun, and then they spend it without guilt. That's the difference between intentional spending and accidental spending. Now let me show you how these three piles work together. Because the system isn't three separate things. It's one thing with three parts. They're connected. They support each other. The first pile builds your future. It's the engine. It generates the wealth that will eventually allow you to stop working. The second pile funds your present. It's the structure. It keeps a roof over your head and food on your table. The third pile fuels your happiness. It's the fuel. It makes the present enjoyable enough that you don't resent the future. Most people try to build wealth with only the first two piles. They save, they budget, they deprive themselves, and they quit. They can't sustain it because there's no joy in the system. The third pile isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. It's what makes the first two piles sustainable over decades. Let me give you an example. Say you earn $5,000 a month after taxes. According to this system, $750 goes to the first pile. $3,250 goes to the second pile. $1,000 goes to the third pile. That $1,000 is your fun money, dinners out, weekend trips, new clothes, concert tickets, a massage, whatever. Spend it without guilt. But here's the rule. When the $1,000 is gone, it's gone. You don't borrow from next month. You don't dip into the first pile. You wait. This is the discipline part. The piles don't mix. A boundary is a boundary. If you spend your entire $1,000 in the first week, that's fine. But you don't get more until next month. The wealthy aren't better at saying no to things. They're better at saying yes to the right things. They've decided what matters, they've allocated accordingly, and they stick to it. Now let's get specific. Where does the first pile actually go? Not all savings are created equal. There's a specific order to this. A ladder you climb. First, build a small emergency fund. $1,000 to $2,000. This is your first line of defense. It keeps you from using credit cards when surprises happen. It's not enough for a major crisis, but it's enough for most minor emergencies. Second, if your employer offers a retirement match, take it. This is free money. If your employer will give you $50 for every $100 you save, you take that deal. Every time. There's no investment on earth that guarantees a 50% return on day one. Name one investment that guarantees a 50% or 100% return on day one. You can't. But your employer match does. Third, open a Roth IRA. This account lets your money grow tax-free. Every dollar of growth stays in your pocket, not the government's. Over decades, that tax savings adds up to tens of thousands of dollars. Fourth, invest in low-cost index funds, not individual stocks, not crypto, not options, not day trading. Broad market index funds. They're boring. That's the point. An index fund owns hundreds or thousands of companies. When you buy one share, you own a tiny piece of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and hundreds of others. You're not betting on one horse. You're betting on the whole race. The wealthy don't try to beat the market. They know they can't. Instead, they become the market. And over time, the market goes up. Not every year. Some years it goes down. But over decades, it rises. Fifth, once you've maxed out your Roth IRA, go back to your employer plan and contribute more. Then, if you still have money, open a taxable brokerage account. The order matters. You don't skip steps. You don't start a taxable account before you've maxed out your tax-advantaged options. That's like paying more taxes than you need to. Now let me be honest with you. This system sounds simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, 15% might feel impossible. Your rent alone might eat up 40 or 50% of your income. Food takes another 15%. Transportation another 10%. You're already over 65% before you've paid for anything else. So what do? You start where you are. If you can't do 15%, do 5%. If you can't do 65%, aim for 75% and work your way down. If you can't do 20% for fun, do 10%. The numbers matter less than the habit. The goal isn't perfection on day one. The goal is progress over time. The wealthy didn't wake up one day with perfect systems. They built them slowly. They adjusted. They made mistakes. They had setbacks. They had months where they couldn't save anything. They kept going. If you can only save $50 a month, save $50 a month. That's better than $0. In 30 years, that $50 a month invested at 7% becomes over $50,000. Is $50,000 going to make you rich? No, but it's $50,000 more than you would have had. And once you prove to yourself that you can save $50, you'll figure out how to save $100, then $200, then $500. The first dollar is the hardest. The first $100 is harder, but it gets easier. The snowball builds momentum. The dam starts to hold water. The other thing that makes this hard is peer pressure. Your friends are spending. Your coworkers are spending. Social media is showing you people spending. It's easy to feel like you're missing out. Your friends aren't paying your bills. Your coworkers aren't funding your retirement. The influencers on social media aren't going to support you when you're old. Don't let other people's spending habits determine yours. Their priorities are not your priorities. Their goals are not your goals. Their future is not your future. Let me lock this in with a quick recap. Because this system only works if you remember it. 15% goes to your future self. This pile builds your safety net and your wealth. It's the engine. It's the money that works while you sleep. 65% goes to your living expenses. This pile covers rent, food, transportation, utilities, insurance. It's the container that keeps lifestyle inflation in check. It forces you to make choices. 20% goes to your joy. This pile is for guilt-free spending on things that make you happy. It's what makes the system sustainable. It's the fuel. The order matters. You don't save what's left. You save first. Then you live on what's left. Pay yourself first, not last, not maybe, first. If you wait to see what's left at the end of the month, there won't be anything left. The money will find a way to disappear. It always does. But if you move the 15% the day you get paid, before you see it, before you can spend it, that money is gone. And you can't miss what you never had. Here's what I want you to do. Tomorrow, look at your last paycheck. Calculate 15% of it. Write that number down. Then look at your expenses. Add up your rent, your food, your transportation, your utilities, your insurance. Is that number less than 65% of your paycheck? If yes, great. You have room. You're ahead of most people. If no, don't panic. Don't beat yourself up. Don't give up. Look for one thing you can change. One subscription to cancel. One dinner out to replace with cooking at home. One small adjustment. Then look at the 20%. Give yourself permission to spend that on something joyful. No guilt. No shame. You don't need to fix everything at once. You just need to start. The wealthy didn't get wealthy by making one perfect decision. They got wealthy by making thousands of imperfect decisions consistently over time. This system works, not because it's fancy, because it's simple, not because it's exciting, because it's sustainable, not because it's complicated, because it's basic. Most people overcomplicate money. They chase strategies. They look for shortcuts. They want the secret. There is no secret. Just boring, consistent, unglamorous discipline. If this video helped you see wealth building differently, hit that like button. It helps more people find it. And subscribe if you want more videos about the boring, simple systems that actually build wealth. Not the flashy stuff, not the get-rich-quick fantasies. The stuff that works. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me, which of these three piles is going to be hardest for you? The 15% saving, the 65% living, the 20% joy, or something else about this system? Be honest. Be specific. Let's fill the comments with real plans and real struggles. Maybe your comment will help someone else figure out their own starting point. Maybe someone else's comment will help you. I read them. I'll be in there. Let's figure this out together. Thanks for watching. Build your piles. Watch them grow. See you in the next one.